and welcome. This is another of my Sherwood playthroughs, and today I am going to play another of my own scenarios, and this one is called Prince John's Tournament. And this is based upon the part of the Walter Scott Ivanhoe novel, and the tournament is presided over by Prince John. And there is a mysterious knight that appears in this tournament, and it is actually Ivanhoe. And he beats numerous knights in jousting and then joins the melee, where a lot of his opponents who were previously defeated by him during the jousting want to have their revenge. And this is a pretty unique scenario because it is two-part scenario. The first part is about jousting and the second part is about the melee. So here we have a setup for the jousting. We have a final part of this scene from a Walter Scott novel, where Ivanhoe is going to face his later arch-enemy Brian de Bois Guilbert, who was a Mad Templar and was one of the best knights during this tournament, but in the original story Ivanhoe managed to beat him. We will see if he will be able to do it again. And when it comes to this scenario special rules, we have only these two characters on the board, and they are going to fight until one of them falls from his horse. We don't know who is going to move first. We have to make a roll to see who is going to have initiative in each turn, and the one who manages to drive his enemy off his horse gets 10 victory points that will be included in the second part of the scenario. So let's go and see who is going to have initiative in the turn 1. Brian, oh, pretty good. And Ivanhoe, not that good. So Brian goes first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no charges or counter charges in Sherwood, like in the original Norman Saga series. So let's go, and he can attack Wilfred. He has 28 versus 17, so this is 11, and this is versus mounted opponent, so this is 10 19. Oh, this is 2. This means this is wounded. So Ivanhoe is wounded. He has to be replaced with wounded counter. And notice, characters can be wounded during the jousting, but they cannot be killed. If character is killed, this means that he is losing the battle instantly. And now it is Ivanhoe's turn. He is attacking Brian. 19 versus 16, so it's 3, so it's 0 to 4. And 10, oh, attacker wounded, my god. Ivanhoe is very unlucky during this battle, not like in the original story. He is wounded again, so this means he's losing this jousting. And this concludes part 1. As you can see, it was pretty fast, just like it was meant to be. And next we are going to play a second part of the tournament, which is melee. This is a group fight between two groups of the knights. And what is pretty important, if character was wounded during this jousting, we have to use his wounded marker now. So Ivanhoe full strength counter is removed and replaced with wounded marker. And they are all going to fight on foot now, so there will be only a foot fight. And what is pretty important, there is no board with arena. So I decided to use the gulch board with slopes marking the edges of the arena. So none of our knights can cross the slopes. There is no scrap here. This is all the clear terrain, so ignore the scrap. And now we can see who is going to enter the board first. Let's make a roll. And every turn we have to make a roll to see who is going to have initiative, and we have to add the number of the killed enemy characters to our die roll. So for the Brian, 4, and for Ivanhoe, 8. So Ivanhoe is going to win the initiative, so he can declare who is going to enter the board first. So he says, I'm going to enter as a second player, let Brian do his actions first. So Brian starts his action, and he's entering the board from this edge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is Brian and his men coming, and now Ivanhoe and his men. Oh, sorry, I forgot. These are this is not scrap. This is clear terrain, so they can move 1 hex forward. Okay, so now Ivanhoe is wounded, so it's going to be hard for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. He's wounded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this Martin moves here. So this concludes turn 1, and next we have turn 2. So let's see, and now we have to keep the order. So Brian was first player, so he moves first. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I need to make a roll. So Brian 6 and Wilfred 8. So Ivanhoe is the first player. So he decides who is going to has initiative. He says, let Brian goes first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to move any further. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let them stay here. And now Ivanhoe. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can see that they know that enemy has advantage because their leader is wounded, so they decide to go like that. So this is turn 2, and now we have turn 3. Let's see, let's make an initiative roll. For Ivanhoe, 3. For Brian, 3. This is a draw, so another roll is made. For Ivanhoe, 2. For Brian, 10. So Brian decides who is going to do act first, and Brian says, I am going to move first, you cowards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his men are going like that. And let's resolve combat. So we have these two versus B-row. So Brian and Guy. So it's 20, 30, 33, 32 versus 7. 32 versus 7 is 20, 29 plus 1 because we have enemy two enemies versus 1, so it's 30, 39, and 10 R1. So B-row retreats 1 hex. Brian goes here, and now Wilbrand attacks Roger. We have 12 versus 9, so this is only 3, and 6 in the 0-4, this is nothing. So now it's time for Ivanhoe and his men. Well, I think that they are going to attack Brian simultaneously. So this is for that's all. I will move only Ivanhoe here, and now they have 25, 35 versus 2, so it's 25, and plus 1, so it's 30, 39, and 9 again, poor roll, R1. So Brian has to retreat, but he has nowhere to go. I mean, there is his character here, and let me check because there is another thing that it differs in the Sherwood and Norman Saga. In the Norman Saga, you can move your guys to give your own character way of retreat. I have to check if in this game you can do it as well, because I am not quite sure. Well, it says that I can't cross hexes with my own character, so I believe this means I also can move them out. So Biro goes here, and this concludes turn 4. No one is dead so far. So let's carry on with turn 4. And initiative, Brian, 5, Ivanhoe, 9. So Ivanhoe won, and he can decide who is going to have initiative, and definitely he wants to have initiative. So he says, I am going to be player 1. So let's see who is going to move. He moves here, 3 movement points, and Walmer goes here. Wilfred is not going to engage into combat because of his wound. And now, Biro and Roger are attacking Brian, while Walmer is attacking Wilbrand. So this is 25 versus 10, so it's 15. So it's 10 and 19, plus 1 due to the numerical superiority. It is 20, 29. And again 10, nothing. What a series of unlucky rolls. 9 versus 7, so it's only 2. And again, nothing. So looks like Ivanhoe is not very lucky today. And his man. Now Brian. So he goes here and he goes there. And who is going to fight who? And Brian and Gaia are attacking Roger, along with Gibbo. So they are 3 versus 1, while Wilbrand is fighting Volmer. So Wilbrand is attacking Walmer, 12 versus 6, so it's 6 and 7, nothing. Looks like they haven't much luck as well. It's 13 and 15 and 17, so it's 33, 43, 43 versus 9 is 32, so it's 39 plus 1, because of the numerical superiority, is plus 4, is higher than 40, and he is just stunned. Hell, I mean, it was I needed 5 or less to kill him, 8 or less to wound him, and even so he is just stunned. So this concludes turn 5. And this is the half of the tournament, and no one is killed so far. Amazing. Okay, this is turn 5. Let's roll for initiative. Ivanhoe, 5. Brian, 8. So Brian is now player 1, and definitely he wants to be the first player. And now he has a chance to score a hit on Roger, who is stunned. Yes, in such a case, if with this changing initiative, there is a chance to attack stunned character before it will regain its senses, though, so that's pretty good. And now, Brian is going to attack Biro, Guy and Gibbo are going to attack stunned Roger, while Wilbrand is going to attack Walmer. So, 15 versus 7, so it's 8, and 5 in 8, this is R1, so Biro is retreating. They have 17 and 27 versus 1, so it's 20-29, plus 1 for the numerical advantage is 30-39, and 7, he's stunned. And he was already stunned, this means that he's wounded, so we have to replace him with a wounded marker. And now Wilbrand is attacking Walmer. It's 4 with 6. Walmer is stunned. Okay, looks like Brian's men are gaining some initiative. Now, what Wilfred is going to do? His friend is stunned. Roger is waking up because, well, he was wounded and this brought him back to senses somehow. So, I think that Martin, Biro and Roger are going to attack Brian together. This is the only chance they can score something, because two of them are already wounded. So 7, 17, 28 versus 10 is 18. So 10, 19 plus 1 because of the numerical advantage. Oh, just 7. So he has to retreat, but he cannot retreat anywhere. So he is wounded. Okay, finally, you Mad Templar, you are wounded. And this concludes turn 5. So turn 6, initiative roll for Brian, 1 for Ivanhoe, 7. So Ivanhoe decides that he wants to be player 1, and what he is going to do. His men are fighting against Brian, hoping to get rid of this nasty, crazy crusader, Templar, I mean. So I wonder if I should launch one massive attack with all of my characters against him, or rather try something else. I think I will try something else. So they are going to attack Wilbrand, and they are going to attack Brian. So 21 versus 5, so this is 16, so 10, 9, 10, 19, plus 1 for the numerical advantage, 10, 20, 29, and W, that's great. He's wounded, so he's dead, and 1, 2, I'm going to move forward. Now Roger and Walmer are attacking Wilbrand. They have 16 versus 7, so it's 9, 5, 9, plus 1 for numerical advantage, this is 10, 19, and 6, he has to retreat. Okay, looks like Ivanhoe's side is gaining finally some advantage. So now let's go to the Brian's men, and well, they have no Brian at all. So what are they going to do? I think Guy and Neil are about to fight with Roger. Finn is going to attack Biro, and Wilbrand is fighting Walmer. So let's start. Wilbrand versus Walmer. It is 6 and 6 are 1. So Walmer retreats 1 hex. Gibbo and Guy are attacking Roger. So it's 27 versus 4. So it's 23 plus 1. It is 30, 39. Column, he's wounded, so he's dead. So 1 to 1. And now Finn is attacking Biro. It is 10 versus 7, so it's 3 and 6. This is nothing. So that's all. And this concludes turn 7. So we have 1 dead on each side, I believe. Yes, 1 knight on each side is dead. So this is turn 7, and now let's make initiative roll for Ivanhoe, 7, for Brian, 9. And each side gains plus 1 because of the 1 killed character of the enemy side. So Brian's side, without even Brian, gains initiative and can decide who is going to move first, and of course they want to go first. So Finn and Guy are going to attack Biro, and Gibbo and Wilbrand are going to attack Walmer. So 22 versus 6, so it's 16 plus 1 is 20, 29, and 8 are 1. Walmer retreats. They move like that. And Guy and Finn, they have 27 versus 7, so it's 20, 20, 29, plus 1 for numerical advantage is 30, 39, it's 6, so he is wounded. Alright, time for Ivanhoe to go. His men are still holding the line, but they are suffering some losses, so I think what I'm going to do is to attack Wilbrand with Wolmer, Wilfred and Martin, while Biro, well, Biro is going to stay here. So it is 10, 19, 28. 28 versus 7 is 21. 20, 29, plus 1, 30, 39. And 2, finally some great result. Wilbrand is dead. So Wilfred takes the hex. And Biro wasn't about to attack anyone. Yeah, he has a strength of 5, so attacking Guy or Finn wouldn't be very effective. So this concludes turn 7, and we are going to start turn 8, which is going to be the last turn of this melee. Okay, this is the last turn of the melee. Let's see who is going to get initiative. And now Brian's side lost 2 men, while Ivanhoe's side lost 1 man. So Ivanhoe will add +1 to his die roll. So Ivanhoe 6 and Brian 7. So Brian won and wants to move first, of course. This is pretty obvious. And now Gibbo is here alone. So can he do much against these enemies? Well, no. He's going to move 1 and 2, and they are all going to gang on Gibbo. Sorry, on Biro. So 10, 20, 37 versus 4. 37 versus 4 is 30, 39. Plus 1, it is 40. I believe Biro is going to be killed. Yes, he is dead. And Finn takes his place. And now Ivanhoe, well, 1, 2, 3, and 1, his men are going to focus on Gibbo. So 10, 19, 28 versus 7, it's 22, plus 1 for the numerical advantage is 30, 39, and it is 10, so nothing. And this concludes our tournament. Now we have to check who was killed and how many victory points each side gains for each killed character. Also, Brian's side gains +2 victory points because Brian won the first part of the tournament. So, Ivanhoe's side lost Biro and Roger, so it is 18. 18 plus 14 is 32. And plus 1 is 49. So 49 and plus 10 for the victory in the first part, it is 51 for Brian. And now, let me use my die to remember about it was 51. Okay, and now Ivanhoe's victory points, 25 plus 19. It is 25, it is 44. Yes, 25, 37, 44. Yes, it is 44, and 51 versus 44. Well, I guess this is Brian's victory. It is not a decisive victory, this is not a higher difference, but still this is a victory of the Brian side. So you can see this is pretty short and rather straightforward scenario, but well, I think it can be fun to play anyway. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.